Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons this week. Right now, they have 6 wins and 5 freaking losses. But things aren't looking so great because they've lost 2 games in a row. First, they lose to their big-time rival, the New Orleans Saints, and then they just got their asses whooped this past weekend by the Denver Broncos. That game was tough because the Falcons should have scored at least 10 or 14 more points against them. But they didn't. They didn't even score a touchdown. It's understandable to feel frustrated after the Falcons' recent losses. Let's address some of these concerns that maybe you and I have, and that we really haven't spoken about, but maybe we just want to let go. The quarterback situation. Kirk Cousins has had a challenging season this year, and discussion about starting Michael Penix Jr. have emerged over the last couple of weeks. However, it's important to consider that Penix is still a rookie, and starting him against the Chargers on December 1st might be a little bit premature. Defensive performance. The defense has struggled, and we know it, allowing teams to score more easily than unexpected. Injuries have played a significant role for this team, with key players like cornerbacks Mike Hughes, D. Alford, and Antonio Hamilton missing games. This has impacted the team's performance throughout the whole entire season, to be a fact. And it's something that needs to be addressed, or we're not going to go far. The coaching staff. Defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake has faced criticism due to the defense's performance. While it's easy to point fingers towards them, it's essential to recognize that injuries and other factors contribute to the current situation. But in my opinion, truthfully, this defensive team isn't what they had last year. Both player, personnel, as well as key defensive coaches. This season expectations. The addition of Kirk Cousins raised expectations for all of us, improving their expectations of this team this season is very important with that high purchase amount that they gave for Kirk Cousins. Despite recent setbacks, Falcons still lead the NFC South with a 6-5 record, ladies and gentlemen. There's still time to turn things around, whether it's on the defensive side or on the offensive side. Over the last 2 years, the biggest concern has been the owner's health, Arthur Blank's health. Concerns about owner's Arthur Blank's health have surfaced throughout the last 2 years, and earlier this year, we got some little scary news. He experienced a minor medical issue, but is reportedly doing well. See, what we want is for the Atlanta Falcons to win a Super Bowl before the man passes away. He's done so much for this team and for the city of Atlanta that he deserves a Super Bowl ring. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's natural to have negative thoughts about consecutive losses, but focusing on the team's potential and upcoming opportunities can provide a more balanced perspective and reality to change. Let's break this down in a way that's easy to follow. Last week was rough, and we know it. Young Koo really didn't have his best game against the New Orleans Saints. If he had played better, we probably could have won that game. It's hard not to feel frustrated about watching that. It was a New Orleans Saints game. But for the Broncos game, all I can say is that was a disaster last weekend. Both the Falcons offense and defense were off their game against the damn Denver Broncos. On offense, the Falcons didn't score a single touchdown. No one freaking touchdown. Kirk Cousins and Coach Zach Robinson really let us down. I'm not gonna lie, that offensive line let us down. As fans, we expected better, especially at the Mile High Stadium, especially with this team, an unexperienced Broncos team led by Bo Nix. Now on the defensive side, I don't even want to talk about him. They let the Broncos score 38 points. Yeah, 38 fucking points. That's just unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen, for a team that's supposed to be competing at a high freaking level. It's frustrating as fans to watch games like these. We expect more, and this team needs to step up fast if they want to keep us on their side. Or they could keep going the way they are and just let us boo their asses off the field. How is it not possible to have negative thoughts? You have frustrations after 2 losses. It's hard not to feel down after watching the Falcons lose 2 tough games in a row. Sometimes it feels like the season is slipping away, and the thought of another tie NFC South race makes fans and me worry a lot. I mean, like, I'm freaking worried about this. What if the Falcons let us down again in the last few weeks of the season, just like they've done before? Just like they've done in the last 3 seasons. Just in the last year of Matt Ryan. What do we do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is hope. There's always a reason for hope. But let's take a moment and look at the bigger picture. The 2024-25 NFL Falcons are way better than what we saw in the last 2 seasons under Desmond Ridder and Arthur Smith. Back then, the teams ended 7-10. Right now, Kirk Cousins and the Falcons are just 1 freaking win away from matching those 2 seasons, 3 seasons of 7-10 in previous years. There's still 6 more games to play this season, ladies and gentlemen. So while it's normal to be frustrated, there's real progress happening here. This team still has a chance to finish strong and prove that they're better than what we've seen in the past. Let's see how they could handle the rest of the season. Let's take it one at a time. For the Falcons' upcoming games and how things can turn around, let's look at each game. December 1st, the Falcons are playing the Chargers. The Falcons will take on Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers are playing well this year, to be honest. It's a surprise, but it's a Jim Harbaugh team. So this one could be a close game. It's a winnable game. But if they continue what they did in the last 2 weeks, I could see us losing. December 8th, the Falcons versus the Vikings. This will be a tough matchup. It's going to be a storyline surrounding Kirk Cousins, the man who used to be the Minnesota Vikings quarterback, versus Sam Darnold, the new man who's leading a high impact, high offense, high defensive team in the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have been strong all season and are fighting for the top spot in the NFC North against the Lions, and they are very, very close. That means they're really, really good. It's going to be a challenging game for the Falcons, and I'm sorry, but I can see this as a loss. That's 2 losses in a row. December 16, the Falcons go to Las Vegas to face the Raiders, and I might be there. See, the Falcons head to Las Vegas, and this game feels like a win to me. Yeah. It's the Raiders. If they play for their top potential, then this could be the game where they tie their win total from last season and the season before that. And I could see that. December 16 could be that day. And at this point, the Raiders suck. They really have nothing to play for, and they really have no need to win. December 22nd, the Falcons are facing the Giants. It's the Giants. Enough said. They fired their quarterback. Should be a win for the Falcons. That's all I gotta say. December 29th. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Commanders. This storyline deals with their previous Super Bowl head coach and how improved the Washington Commanders are under him. The game is a toss-up, ladies and gentlemen. Commanders can be tough, but if the Falcons have some momentum by then, they can definitely come out on top. January 5th, 2025, the Atlanta Falcons versus the crappy Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are struggling this year. They don't know who the hell their quarterback is. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I see them being better next year, but this year they suck, and I don't think they want to come and play spoiler and have an upset win. And this, ladies and gentlemen, feels like a solid win for the Atlanta Falcons to close out the season and probably to give us, the fans, the NFC South top leadership. It makes us proud. Yes, your Atlanta Falcons will probably win the NFC South or by 2 or 3 games. If the Falcons play their cards game, they could finish the season at 10-7. The record would likely put them in first place in the NFC South, possibly winning the division by 2 or 3 games over the Buccaneers. It's all about staying focused and taking care of business against the teams. Look, I'm going to end this by saying it's perfectly understandable for the Atlanta Falcons fans and me to feel frustrated right now. losing 2 games in a row, especially with Kirk Cousins struggling and the defense being crappy and far from reliable. It's been tough to stomach, not gonna lie, but it's okay to feel this way. The offense couldn't score a single touchdown against the Broncos, and the defense allowed an astonishing 38 points. Get over it. We sucked against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and look, we're still atop of the division. Those performances left many fans angry and questioning the direction of the team. The emotions are still valid. After years of ups and downs, Falcons have every right to demand more from their team. But here's where there's still room and hope and excitement. First, the Falcons are still in first place in the NFC South. Despite the setbacks, they've managed to stay atop of the division, which puts them in a solid position to play in the playoffs. The road ahead looks manageable. With games against their teams like the Giants, Raiders, and Panthers, teams as the Falcons should be able to beat in their play up to their potential. Second, there's Kirk Cousins. Sure, his play over the last 2 games has been shaky, but let's not forget what he brings to the table. Let's not forget what he's done against the Eagles, what he almost did against the Chiefs. Cousins is a seasoned veteran with poise, knowledge, and experience. He has led teams through tough stretches before, and his leadership could be exactly what the Falcons need to steady the damn ship. If the offense can rediscover its rhythm and mojo, Cousins has the tools to guide the team to victory. Of course, the defense remains the biggest concern. Allowing 38 points against the Broncos and struggling to stop opposing offenses has exposed significant weaknesses in their playbook and in the damn defensive players. Defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake has work to do, and the team may need to make adjustments, whether it's tweaking the scheme or looking to bring in more talent to shore up that side of the freaking ball. Despite these frustrations, the season is far from over. The Falcons have the pieces to turn things around, and they're first place atop of the NFC South. A relatively favorable schedule ahead of them, and a veteran quarterback who's capable of leading a team to a win. If the defense can just step up a little bit, this team has the potential to finish strong, make the playoffs, and even surprise everyone in January with a win or 2. So Falcons, stay mad. It's okay to demand from your team, but don't lose hope. Because the story of the 2024-25 Falcons is still being written as we speak. With the right adjustments and a bit of grit, the season can end in the celebration rather than the frustration we currently are facing. Let us know your thoughts in the comment area. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.